Hi, beloveds. We're talking some more about body stories and Donald J. Trump. And I know some of you just from the title of this, so I'll keep adding the two words in front of it, which is more freedom and more joy. For us to get to more freedom and more joy, we actually have to go through the stuff that's clogging up our systems. And what I'm aware of, it's kind of like, Trump keeps talking about walls of every kind. So he keeps separating people over and over in all the ways that he does. It's so abusive, we all recognize it, and day after day after day after day we experience that. Part of what we don't get an opportunity to do is to actually kind of step over and be able to look beyond the walls and to see each other. We keep getting knocked off because the next day's issue comes, the next trauma or the next assault or the next thing that's divisive, that distracts us, and all of that keeps us from being able to be in our hearts. In the workshop that we're going to do for a couple days, it won't really have anything to do with Donald J. Trump, but it will have to do with the things that get triggered in us. So the thing I'm going to place in your consciousness today is grief is kind of like stepping through this ladder and being able to see to the other side. And if you keep getting knocked off, you're not going to be able to see to the other side. You're not going to see over the wall. You're not going to see the beloved in each person. And that's what grief does. So whether it's our anger, our hurt, our rage, our sadness, from all of the many different kinds of losses that happen on a daily basis with this administration, that get triggered in you in ways that may be very subtle, but tend to kind of numb us out and numb us to being able to step across and go, I see that person who I may not agree with, but I'm gonna love them anyway. And I see what's the way through this by seeing them. And that's lost because when we're in grief, it's like we have lenses on that make us feel unfamiliar. During the AIDS years, worked with many people who both survived and thrived, but many people who died. And in their process of illness, oftentimes they would not look anything like what they looked like in the beginning. And so grief is like that. Grief puts lenses in front of us so that we become unfamiliar. Even if it's someone you know and love, they become unfamiliar. So I'm just planting the seed that there is all this unprocessed grief, that the 2 days that we're going to get together and do our workshop will just be a way of just kind of opening up and letting some of that out to clear the channels so that we can actually see each other again and see each other from the heart and to reclaim our own heart to what? To have more freedom and more joy. So those are my thoughts. Namaste.